All right, man. Welcome to the Mid Show, presented by Miller Lite. Eddie, White Sox, Dave, Chief, Danny, Tom's in here, Lance is in here. We got Hannah. Draft day, everybody. Before we get to it all, we want to talk about Miller Lite because, like I said, it's draft day. The big draft is here. Where will our top picks go? It's anyone's guess, and we've seen some wild selections over the years, but there's one selection that every football fan can share tonight, and that's an ice-cold Miller Lite. Miller Lite knows that beer lovers want their light beer to taste like beer. That's why they brew a light beer that's light on calories, not on taste, because what's the point of having a beer if you can't taste it? I'm excited.
Official beer of the Bears. This is a Bears day in April. You get very few of those. I'm going to toast Peter Skoronski. That's what I'm going to do. The Bears are drafting Peter Skoronski. I feel it. I feel it in my gut. Feel it in my core. That's what I want. He's a Miller Lite guy. Let's get it.
I love it.
I'm down with that.
I appreciate it. I'm excited to have a couple while I watch the draft and until kickoff comes around again. Enjoy the beer that tastes like the season. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. To get Miller Lites delivered right to your door, go to MillerLite.com/Redline, or let's be honest, it's Miller Lite. You can find it pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. All right, welcome to the show. So we do have former Pro Football Focus draft analyst Mike Renner coming on later in the show. Head draft analyst. Did I not say head?
Lead.
Lead?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Did you?
Yeah.
You just said draft analyst. He was the head honcho, Ed.
Well, he's
also remembered from The Bachelor. We didn't bring that up, but he was a guy on The Bachelor maybe 3-4 years ago.
I didn't know that. That was back in your Bachelor days before you gave it up.
That's really why Chief wanted to interview him.
Yeah,
I've talked to him before. We're like text buddies.
He was itching.
Yeah, I think he's a Notre Dame guy too. I'm pretty sure.
Is he?
Pretty sure.
So we got a lot going on. We're
in New York right now while you're listening.
Yes,
to this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're recording a day early because we will be in New York for the draft. Check out the NFL draft show.
Yep.
Spelled differently.
And not to be confused with the NFL draft.
Yes.
Right. It's the NFL spelled out phonetically.
It's hot as fucking here.
Yeah.
But we're trying to plow through it. This is kind of that worst area where the places can't get caught up on the season.
Yeah.
Right?
I had a situation where I don't have central air in my apartment.
Oh, you don't?
No, I have like the units.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's an old building.
Oh man, that's number one on my selection list.
It was high on my list as well, and I couldn't make it work. Anyways,
bro.
Oh no, so, you got to cross that off the list.
I know you could get like a system where it's like effectively central air, but it costs like $10,000 to install. So I might look into that. I got to see if it's like an actual value add for resale value. Anyways, so I went down to like the storage unit, which is like a scary fucking dungeon, to get one AC unit a few weeks ago. We had that like heat swell because it was like fucking hot in my apartment. I brought it up. I put one in, installed it, turned it on. I was feeling good. Then we've had like 2 weeks of like cold. And I was like, they're just like, they're not like hard to get in out, but they're just like awkward as fuck.
They're heavy.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Jeez.
And so I was like leaving it in the window, which always, so like the cold air was like coming in because I wasn't closing the window because I was too lazy just to take it out. I finally broke like 2 days ago. After like 7 or 8 days of like 30-degree weather, I finally took the AC unit out. Now it's just sitting on the floor because you're right. You can't dial in the temperature.
Yeah, I'm stunned. I'll be honest.
Yeah. No.
Gotta get the central, bro.
Yeah, that's.
I know.
Because now, regardless of what happens, if it's too hot, your ass is sticking to the bowl when you get you're getting.
I haven't had
it's
I was like mortified about that. Like I was like, this sucks, but I love the place except for this detail. It wasn't bad last year.
Okay.
So it's just it was a little bit of an adjustment. The worst part of it is just taking them in and out seasonally. Like that is the actual worst
And
part.
if you let them crank, then the electricity bill's like that.
It actually wasn't last year, and I had at least two, sometimes 3 cranking the whole time, and I didn't even notice an impact. So it's fine. Damn. And like
I can't do it.
My HOAs actually cover my utilities.
Oh,
so,
there you go.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah,
HOA, big boy term.
Yep.
Danny, how are you?
Not too bad. I will say my current apartment, which I'm leaving soon, doesn't have any ceiling fans, and you don't realize how much of a pain in the dick that is.
What? No ceiling fans?
No problem.
No, I mean, I have air. Air is the alternative, but if it's a hot day, like I shouldn't say hot day, if it's even 70 degrees it's steaming in there because the ceiling fan's not doing anything to circulate the air.
This guy is like, he likes it steamy though. Anyways, typically you're a guy who jacks the.
No,
the
you
heat up
guys
here.
don't. You guys have your heat on 67 in the winter.
68's the ideal temp
There's
year
no problem with
round.
that.
The Egyptians figured that out.
You just don't touch the thermostat year round.
Correct. 68.
No, there's a difference between AC 68 and the heat 68. Though.
Yeah, but you want your temperature to be 68 regardless.
I put it down to 64 in the summer.
Do you really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. My would it be gas for? It's gas, right? For central AC, it's like 260, 270 a month.
Can I sleep over
meat
one day?
locker in there.
Yeah, we're doing the movie night.
Okay, good. I can
Shrek
sleep over.
Marathon?
Yeah, you can sleep over.
Okay. Do you have a bed in the extra bedroom, or will I need a sleeping
That's a
bag?
smash room.
No,
That's
you
perverted. Don't
No, there's
Don't-
nothing. There's no bed in there. No,
tell him that's perverted.
he's a pervert.
Yeah,
I know
to
that.
fucking put
He
you.
does
in
that in his own bed.
Yeah, to put you in
not
that
a room.
box. No, but it's just to Dave like there would be a smash room for certain, and like no,
Yeah.
that's wrong.
That was an old Real World throwback. They always had that room.
No, that was
No,
the
that was
Jersey
fucking
Shore.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Dude.
No, they had it in the Real World too. And like I remember specifically Real World Vegas.
Yeah, but the smush room.
I said
was,
smash.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I might. Can I admit something? I might be just confused.
I think you're confused.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he
Credit
was,
to me. Credit to me for
he was
admitting that I was
he
confused.
was totally fucking around there.
We all have that trait where it's like initially once we're told we're wrong, we'll like fucking hold up the fucking the barrier.
But I do like have a memory of that too. So I think there was a smash and a smush.
With
but-
Trishelle, she was just
Yeah.
smashed in the hot tub. I think it was.
No, but they would for randoms. They would have like
I
a
believe
smash
I
room.
believe Jersey Shore like declared it a smash room, and then over time in Real World, it's like, all right, this is becoming the smash room.
But the
if
Real
that
World
helps.
predates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Las Vegas is before the
Yeah.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah,
But
Right.
it was
That doesn't
smush, to be clear.
on Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
a sneaky
Not
term.
smash.
Which is kind of a gross word.
It is
Smush?
Yeah.
smush genitals.
Yeah, but those guys were so funny that they made it
Not gross somehow.
not they made it hilarious, I guess. So would you smush? it's like,
Think of
yeah.
all the fucking venereal diseases that were on that bed.
You think a lot?
Oh fuck yeah! You could if you do the little blue light, the little UV light.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Oh, that thing would be gross.
All right, I'm gonna sleep over one day. I'm gonna grab a camera. Lance will film it.
Blacklight.
We'll,
You're gonna
yeah.
make Lance sleep over too.
Yeah, Lance by the collateral damage.
Oh, my sheets are
do it.
fucking clean because of the dog.
Collateral damage.
What does that mean? You just wash them all the time?
Like every time I do laundry, which is like twice a week.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
you let them
not to
sleep in the
brag.
bag.
Well, a lot of times he just jumps
Brag.
in it.
Brag, Dave. You have no problem.
I
bragging.
do a lot of cardio, and because of that cardio, I have a lot of disgusting, sweaty laundry. So I'm like constantly doing laundry. So
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
just use that as an excuse to clean the sheets.
So, do you ever lay right in your bed after some cardio?
No,
Just straight up
that's
the bed.
no, that's fucking disgusting.
That's
No,
uncouth.
that's so nasty.
Do you ever lay in your bed right after shower? Because I think that's nice.
He's
With
too busy.
a shirt on. If I'm wet,
Just a towel.
He's too busy.
No.
laying-
You
no.
towel off, your head's wet, and then you get under the covers.
No.
He doesn't need to. He's too busy laying in the shower. He doesn't need to lay in
That's
the bed
true.
after.
He doesn't need that shit.
I took a nice shower nap on Sunday.
Hungover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's
nice.
But that's always. I had a buddy come over for some beers after he had like a softball tournament, and he just stunk like shit. He smelled the whole couch up.
Oh.
You know, like go home and shower.
Would you let him use your shower?
Yeah, if you're like going and hanging in the garage for a couple of
Yeah, it's
post
a
softball,
different
that's
scenario.
different. But
Yeah.
you got to shower.
Guy smelled
You
atrocious.
tell him he smelled?
Yeah, he was stinking. I mean, he probably smelled himself. It's
We
hard
had
to
a buddy
smell
in
himself.
high school. Oh, this is middle school. This happened. He came straight to my one buddy that had a pool. He came straight there. Obviously, it didn't completely matter, but he smelled so bad that we called him Stink that day, and we to this day, legit 20 years later, we still call him Stink.
He
That's
still
his name.
stink.
It's a good
Yeah.
nickname.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even like try to fight it anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't want to be known as the stinky guy. It was just a one-off thing.
It's tough.
But
And probably
yeah.
because he fought it is where you guys just that's what
Yeah,
sealed
yeah.
it.
If,
Yeah, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
so we
That's
stink.
when you get a bad nickname like that and you can't fight it because you know that's just going to make things worse, and you just sit there and you pray that it just.
Have you ever
dies
had a bad nickname?
naturally?
Redhead.
If you classify Red, sure, but I don't really care about Red Ed.
He's trying to do
No.
it so we don't call him that
That's
anymore.
what
He does
yeah,
care.
he's.
Oh, I would love
exactly
him
what-
to have a worse nickname than that, though.
I know.
We
There's
gotta-
nothing though.
Yeah, nothing
I never-
sticks.
I
to
tried to
this
call
guy.
my buddy Booger for a while, and he was mortified.
What, did he have a bat in the cave or something, or you just randomly called him Booger?
He's just always like a snot guy, you know. So it's like, and he's always got
around the rim.
He's always got his finger up his nose, like so. It's like, dude, we're just gonna call you Booger. And he says, no, dude, no, I got a guy at work that they call Booger, and he's disgusting. So like, it wasn't even like a personal Booger thing. It was the guy
Like he
at
was
work.
associated with somebody else.
Yes, exactly. And a buddy named Roach, we called Roach.
Okay.
Because he was that guy at, like, no matter how drunk he'd get, you'd put him to bed and be like, all right, finally, like, fucking, that guy was a liability. And he'd always come crawling back. Like, you just see him back at the bar. It's like, dude, we sent you home. Like, we put you in the Uber, you know? And then you look up and he's like at
There
the bar.
he is.
Yeah. It's like, dude, you're a fucking cockroach. So he was just Roach.
You gotta
like
burn
that.
him. Only way they die is if you burn him.
Yeah. I mean, he was unkillable, Roach. Speaking of the bar, we're going to the bar in a little bit because that's the next White Sox Save Challenge. You are taking on
The worst bartender in America.
Yep.
Yeah, Big Tom. So we talked about this on the show when? A couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
I think it was on a live show. It was on a Tuesday episode. White Sox Dave has some, it's not real beef, but it's fake beef, I guess,
Yeah.
with a bartender.
People think it's real, which is the best part about
There
it.
was a
Yes.
moment in time before you guys met that it was real. Internet real.
Not
Internet
Yeah.
real.
really, though.
So you could pull it up.
He was
there,
trying to get you
Tom.
fired back in 2013.
You could pull it up. So this guy right here, his name's Big Tom. He works at Country Club in Wrigleyville. He used to have a commenter name on Barstool Sports.
What was that name again?
It was Fire White Sox Dave's blank ass, a word that we can't say anymore.
A word that's been canceled.
Yeah, exactly. And,
What does it start with?
R.
but like, listen, in 20 whatever,
You couldn't
Yeah.
say it back then, Ed. Come on.
I don't know. if that's
2012,
true.
2013.
It was more liberally said.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it didn't
Yeah.
mean
Sure.
you could
It wasn't
say
like
it.
a cancelable word.
Sure.
back
Yeah.
then.
Exactly. Exactly. So he's grown. He's
matured.
He's matured. He's
As
adapted.
have you.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone has in this room.
He's a fucking just
He's an ogre.
So yeah, and he used to always just lambaste Dave about his blogs and like whatever. And it was a real rivalry, and now it has since turned friendly, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube.
It could turn real again after today, though.
Maybe, yeah. White Sox Dave said this ogre is legitimately the worst bartender in America. And we pointed this out. Then Portnoy got involved and said, I hope this guy just fucking decks Dave because he didn't know that it was a bit. So we're going to Country Club to do, and Dave's got multiple tweets. It's a running
It's like
series.
every time he sees him. Yeah.
It's a running series.
He's so tall.
No, well, he's not that tall. I think he's 6'1". So add it up.
You're a midget too.
I had to do it. No, he's very tall.
He's. I think he's 7 feet.
No, he's not 7 feet.
I would say that he is.
Let's ask him today. I bet you.
toe to toe. A lot of 7-feeters don't like saying they're 7 feet.
I
though.
would say that he's. I would say he's 6'9".
No, taller than that. Definitely taller than that.
Does everybody seem tall to you though? Because like 7 feet is like there's like 4 of those guys on Earth.
I don't think he's any shorter. Maybe a little shorter than Frank Kaminsky. Maybe a little.
I think he's
and I've
I've
stood
seen
next to
Frank
both
in
of them
person.
plenty of times.
Yeah. You.
Well, we know you see Frank at fucking Fogo de Chao.
Yeah.
What, a couple months ago?
It was during Christmas, around Christmas.
So Dave is going to compete against him in a bartender contest, I guess.
yeah.
There's going to be 3 facets to the contest. It's going to be who could pour the cleanest beer off the tap, who can make the best cocktail, 1 traditional, probably going to be like an espresso martini, 1 old fashioned, and then 1 you call it. Do you know what you're going to call yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to
But
know.
it has to be
ask,
like a White
don't
Sox
ask.
Dave original. You have to like kind of like.
No, I don't
No.
necessarily think so. If he wants to go sex on the beach, he could go sex on the beach.
Oh, I thought he had to like invent like here are the ingredients, invent like
No,
kind of
I
like what
think-
we did in New York last year.
No,
How
I
would that-
no, I don't think so.
No, you can't do that.
Why not? We did it in New York for
Rich, New Amsterdam should
New Amsterdam.
Yeah, they
The
should have.
red
But
eye drink?
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
we
yeah.
put like cranberry juice and vodka together.
It was like guava or something.
Or
yeah.
something, yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm not saying you have to do that, but you could just be inventive.
I
and
think
creative.
if he calls it like I'm walking in and I make a good Manhattan. Like I think that's fine.
All right.
So and then we're gonna have 3 taste testers, someone within our office, someone from Country Club, and then just a random
Who
in a bar.
who do you trust in this office the most to be an unbiased judge?
None of you.
You had
I
one,
trust. I
one
trust
person you have to
all
guess.
of you the same amount, and that's 0.
I know who you should trust the most.
Lance or
I would say
I
Lance.
would
or
say
Harry.
Lance for sure. Harry would be
because
good
they
too.
know
too.
that. Well, Harry not as much, but Lance,
And I'll give you a tip.
I will bully his ass, and he's kind of a beta.
False. False. Absolutely
him,
not.
Lance.
It's because I'm honest and I have integrity.
Well,
He's
can't we
on-
just make it so they don't know who's
Yeah.
drinking?
Well, that's what
probably
it's going to
could,
be
yeah.
anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
And Lance is a fucking savage, where I believe his favorite drink is a Long Island iced tea.
Facts.
So I assume Dave is going to have
Well,
a
Lance
little
is
bit of a
only
heavy
like
pour.
25.
Yeah, but I assume you're going to have like a little bit of a heavy pour. Like I don't think Lance would mind that. So that's why I think it would skew towards you. You know? And then the final competition, the third one, will be a bucket challenge.
Bucket race.
Bucket race,
bucket
yes.
off.
You got to make 4 Miller Lite buckets. Who can fucking fill them up with ice, snap the tops, and then race them to a table the fastest. Which is exciting because whenever Dave could just load up his hands and run, it makes me laugh.
Double bucket challenge.
I feel like there has to be like deductions on time for spillage too. Like if you get to the table and you've lost like 3 ounces or you lost the neck, whatever's in the neck out of that bucket, out of that beer,
And you're
that's
done?
like that's worth like 3 seconds off.
I don't hate that. So it's going to be good. It'll be on our YouTube tomorrow. Go check that out. And it'll be White Sox Dave Challenge number 7, I believe.
Yeah, he's 4-2 right now.
4-2. Impressive.
Are you nervous for this one at all? Because I feel like you're going up against this is the first time you've gone up against like a legitimate pro.
No. And I've tried explaining this to you guys a billion times. I don't kick soccer balls. I don't kick footballs. Even if I lose a challenge and Lance is like, you know what? His drink was pretty good. Then I win. Just like I booted that 35-yard field goal. I might have lost the challenge, but in the court of public opinion, everybody was like,
talking
dude,
about? It's
Dave's
win or
actually
lose.
got a leg.
But yeah,
Do you
but
understand that?
I understand
You guys
that, but
don't get it.
you
No,
it
like-
drives me nuts.
But
You
you
tried-
like to compete. You want to win.
Yeah,
you would rather be
But
7-0.
at things that I've done, like at things that I am saying, like if I make some outlandish statement, it's like we have to do this, we have to try it. I've never fucking made a drink in my life outside of vodka soda. How am I supposed to know what, like, if I lose, it's like, okay, well, I'm back to exactly what
Would you want to win
everybody
the?
thought.
If you had to,
But
rank,
it is Tom, so I obviously want
Yeah,
to
that's
bury him. But like,
'Cause if
it's
he
not
loses
going to
to you,
happen.
then
I
he
don't
is
think.
the worst bartender in
Yeah,
America.
exactly.
Yeah,
Would you do a rematch versus Cade this summer? 5-year anniversary
the
from Naperville.
Yeah.
Oh, that kid. Sure.
5-year anniversary.
I think
4
so.
year. It has to be 4 year.
Or was
Right?
2019?
Yeah,
Yeah,
4 year.
That'd be fun.
Who's Cade?
Yeah.
Tell the audience.
He's the original White
No,
Sox
actually, I
Dave
wouldn't
Challenge.
because I actually thought that he was at least like a decent high school player, and that kid's never stepped foot on any sort of athletic
You-
field in his life. So I wouldn't do that against him because it'd just be a waste of time.
He did a great job
But-
vetting that.
He lied to my face.
Well, I
He
remember,
said he played baseball at Naples Central. He
I was
didn't.
like, I'll catch for you and like warm you up. And when he was like
throwing.
skipping a minute, like
Yeah.
they're like max, we were getting like 50 feet. I was like, what's going on
I'd
here?
personally
Yeah.
love to see part 2 of that. Personally.
I would love to see Cade because Cade was what, like 21 at that point. He's still at Indiana.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
he was a
like that.
college kid.
I would love it if Cade was like
Have you
working
ever?
at a
Yeah,
law
it is.
firm.
This is like
like so much time has passed.
I'll watch his video. I'll watch his video like every 6 months.
It's very rare that we get a picture of Dave where the sunglasses touches his beard. I feel like that's about what we have going on
wow.
there. Turn your
I watch his video like every
Often?
6 months. Yeah, I swear I love it. It was just a house of horrors.
And that's your height. That's your college jersey.
It was practice, but yeah.
You think you needed the helmet, Dave?
At first I did.
I mean, technically, I already won.
Were you trying to match?
It's 1-1. 1-1. Come on.
Foul.
I mean, the challenge is already won. but
People
we
are
can keep
saying he
going.
struck you out.
No, there was one where it was like far outside, and I was like trying to tap it back to him. He didn't strike me out at any point.
Strike three.
He called strike 3.
I said that.
Oh, okay.
What do I got? 78? All right, first White Sox Day Challenge is complete. This could challenge me. USC and said if you strike me out.
You sound like an auctioneer. All right, first I have to complete one of
But
them.
like the helmet looks hilarious too.
Topped out at about 56 miles an hour. I expected at least 80 something. Someone who was like somewhat decent high school
Have you
player.
seen this, Tom?
Not good.
I did get one swing and miss. I'm happy with
I
that.
was trying to hit it back to you, though.
Basically,
The helmet.
It's a swing and miss. I was just
We've
trying
done
to
this a
wave
couple
it back,
times
like,
now. There's
bump
just
it
something
back,
about rewatching
basically.
these like while we're on the show and watching Dave watch these. Like, it's funny.
It's torture. Wait, is that your helmet?
It's one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the back of the car trunk.
It actually might be.
Yeah.
It might be. Chicagoland Chargers, Ed. I know you love it.
Oh, you were purple?
I was
did
like
that
navy.
Did that look purple?
That helmet looked purple.
Oh,
didn't it?
No, it definitely didn't.
It was like
Uh-oh.
navy,
It was like the
wasn't
colors
it?
of
Yeah.
my hoodie.
Are you colorblind, Ed?
I don't know. That's what I'm getting concerned about. I'm starting to rub the eyes. In case I am.
And yes, I did pick 55 because of Kenny Powers.
Beautiful. Hey, the Game Time app, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, created by fans for fans. Game Time is a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. I'm
I'm using them for the White Sox, I think, on Saturday.
beautiful.
That's a waste of money.
But
But I'm going to get a
They
good
should be
deal for
paying
Game
you-
Time.
Yeah,
It's gonna
you would.
waste
I
less
mean,
money.
is Game Time paying you?
No, but it's just a quality app, and I know
Yeah,
I'll
no,
get
it's
the
a
best
quality
deals.
app.
Yeah, but you're saying I shouldn't go to the White Sox, which is fair. But
I am
it's-
saying that.
It's like a little bachelor party thing for my friend. He unfortunately, like you, is a White Sox fan. So we got like 8 guys, and we're gonna go to the ballpark and have a sausage.
yeah, go get Cubs tickets. I know Luke Combs is at Soldier
Next
Field next
weekend.
weekend.
Yep.
It's
I'm
poss-
using Game Time for Luke Combs next weekend, yeah.
There you go. It's
Your
possible to
evolution as a
snag.
country guy is crazy. To
No,
me.
I was invited. I don't care to go see Luke Combs, but I'm going
But
to use
Game
Game Time
Time.
and get last-minute tickets because I'm going to procrastinate like always, and I'm going to go.
Yeah, you could snag those seats that you never thought you could get. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found in the seats you thought you could never buy. The purchase process takes just 2 taps and 10 seconds, and once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone. No printer needed. The app also allows you to easily share tickets with friends via text, so you can get into the game seamlessly, skip the hassle, and enjoy the moment. Download the Game Time app or go to the website, enter your email, and redeem code MID for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. All right, where do we want to start sports wise? I think, with all due respect, Dave, the Sox are so bad. It's to the point where I don't even have interest in hearing you complain about them. Like it's
That's fine.
it's just like, and that's not.
I get it.
I hope
Yeah.
that's not mean, but it's like what like.
No, why would anybody subject themselves to
Yeah,
talking about
it's
that
just-
dog shit dumpster fire?
I think the question really like a legitimate question at this point. And I texted you about it last night, and I had to preface it, be like, "Can I ask you a legitimate White Sox question?" Because I didn't want to have like the Castellani like treatment where
your preface did well.
yeah, I think it's time to fire the manager. Like it's so bad, and they look so lifeless. And it's April, 27th when we're recording this. They're down 4-0 to the Blue Jays, at least when I walked in the office. I don't know what it is now.
Final is 8-0.
8-0. Okay. I asked, when I walked in, I saw the score. I asked Danny, is this live or is this like a replay on Comcast? Because it was like they're getting shut out again against the Blue Jays. That I thought maybe it was just like one of those encore broadcasts. But it's just like, nope. It's like every day it's the same thing. They have no guts, no life, nothing. And they do like you've seen them perform in years past that at some point there's only so many levers that you can pull. It's just you might just be like, look, we got this wrong. We got to fire this guy, and like this is our only chance to save the season. And I think that's a legitimate discussion.
Did my response to suffice?
Well, why don't you tell me what the response was?
Well,
Jog
answer
my
the
memory.
question first. Well, when you read it in real
Yeah,
time,
no,
do you
I-
remember thinking, okay, that makes sense?
Well, because it puts it. Well, just say what your response was. So
Yeah.
for the people who weren't in our
So
text
the
message.
way I see it is this is, and I don't know if this is exactly the case, but if you're reading the tea leaves and following this team under a microscope like I do, this I think makes is a perfect timeline of events and a perfect answer to that question of whether or not you should fire Pedro Griffel right now. So in 2016, Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams and whoever else convinced Jerry Reinsdorf to tear it down and rebuild. And Jerry Reinsdorf has never done that. You ask the old Marlins exec that does the shit with Dan LeBatard. I'm blanking on his name right now. Apparently, Jerry Reinsdorf told him the best places to be is this finish second place because you're going to get the fans in. You're going to generate excitement, and you're always going to leave that carrot dangling. And if you think about it from Jerry Reinsdorf's perspective, that's correct because, fans love the chase. They love the chase of making the playoffs. So being a last-place team wasn't acceptable to Jerry Reinsdorf. Finally, after Chris Sale, that core, it was clear that they weren't going to complement them with good players like they haven't done with this core. Rick Hahn, Kenny Williams, whoever else decided, they finally talked him into burning it down to the bare bones, to the studs. And I think that Jerry Reinsdorf said, okay, when this team's ready to go, we're rehiring Tony La Russa to right that wrong in 1984 when I let fucking Hawk fire him 40 fucking years ago. So I think that was the give and take from Rick and Kenny to Jerry Reinsdorf. Obviously, Tony La Russa, it was just a complete and total dumpster fire. And I don't know if there was such bad habits learned under that regime that they now that they have an actual baseball guy that is in tune and in touch with the modern game, they can't it's such an adjustment they don't know how to make it yet. I don't know, but if you hear Rick Hahn through after Tony retired again this offseason saying oh yeah, we have 20 candidates left, we got 10 candidates left. They did all their due diligence and they went through a huge searching process for this next manager. And if Rick Hahn fires this guy right now, that's admitting that he fucked up, and that's not going to fly for Jerry Reinsdorf because he's got that, what is the 10th highest payroll or whatever it is, the 11th highest right now. He's what the no, we let you pick your guy. You guys went through that whole winter trying to find that guy, and you're firing him a month into the season? Absolutely fucking not. And if they did, that would just be admitting defeat.
But isn't that better?
No, I don't
I think it's better to be look, hey, hand up, we got it fucking wrong.
I don't know if it is on Griffel.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't. The players have been what manager is going to look good with these guys right now? I don't think Jesus Christ him fucking self
honestly
could manage his team.
When you have a team that is this lifeless, there's only so many things, only so many levers to pull.
Firing the manager is one of them. Of course,
that's a lever. That's probably the easiest one to do. And I feel like if you have any shot of saving this or turning it around, you have to do something to shake it up. And it's a lot easier to do that than to trade a fundamental piece, for, to make a good baseball trade that.
They're not going to do that though. They don't.
That's what I mean.
They can't do that because they don't have any They're
no, I mean they trade a roster player. You would trade Eloy for something that
they
something.
Can't do that because all these guys are bums. No one's going to take these guys. Not one team is taking Eloy Jimenez or Luis Robert right now. Yeah. Robert fell off a fucking cliff after the first week of the season.
Bad.
Yeah,
horribly. No one's going to touch these guys. There's a small handful of guys that have any trade value at all. Dylan Cease, maybe Kopech a touch, but not much. A small handful of guys. Otherwise, they're all just fucking injured bums. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Giolito and Anderson are in that. You could get something good for those two. Aside from that, fucking nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
That's tough.
But they don't have any reinforcements in the minor leagues. That that surplus of depth that Rick Hahn talked about.
Yeah.
In 2016, we want waves of talent. There is no waves of fucking talent. Mm-hmm. When you're calling up Tanner Banks, who's someone was talking about the other day how was someone on the Pirates made his major league debut after 13 years. That was Tanner Banks last year.
Yeah,
he was 33 as a rookie or whatever, however old he was. If that's your fucking reinforcement, your team. Your farm depth sucks. There's not one thing that's going well with this organization right now. Not one, and it's a lost hope. They need to.
I think there's actually a chance they fire Rick.
Yeah,
I think there's a better chance that he walks away. I don't think they're going to fire anybody midseason.
You don't think so?
Yeah, but this team sucks. It's not good.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. I said, I don't even there's not even it's past the point of checking your Twitter because it's so bad you don't even care.
Yeah, it's not even fun for me anymore.
I don't.
Yeah.
The last two games, I haven't even bothered to really
focusing on.
No, I'm still. I watched them last night for 6 innings.
But what's the point of tweeting?
Yeah, I'm not giving any takes or anything. They fucking suck. What's there to say?
Nothing's changed. Yeah,
La Russa's fault, man.
But it's not they're. It's a big like circle Spider-Man meme. The players have been complete dog shit. Rick Hahn found these players, so he's at fault. Jerry Reinsdorf keeps fucking like employing these guys that are finding shitty players. They're all injured. The player developments, it's like every single player is at fault. I always will say the buck stops with Reinsdorf because he's the one, and he calls too many shots too. There's someone was telling me that, I forget who was telling me, but it'll be draft day. It'll be in the ipso facto war room, and they'll be ready to make their selection, and then Reinsdorf will just pull the plug and he'll be like, no, we're taking the college pitcher because he has less injury risk. And I'm pretty sure they were talking about Carson Fulmer. If you know anything about baseball, you look at Carson Fulmer and you go, that guy's an injury risk because he's just so violent with his delivery and he's max effort. He's 100% on every single pitch. You have a finite amount of pitches in your arm, and if you're at max effort, chances throwing's it's not a natural motion for you. It's not good for your body. You're going to break down. And like they shoved that down, and the owner. What the fuck's the point of having a director of scouting and a front office if you're going to be the one making the selection?
Yeah.
Well, it's a lost cause. They need to fire everybody from front office through the. But that's the other thing. If they do, they're just going to name Chris Getz probably the acting general manager, and he's been in charge of the farm system that's ranked dead last in baseball. Yes. It's
what's also crazy too is the Pirates just handed over that $100 million deal. So it's like you're taking little kicks everywhere because now there's only 3 poverty franchises left.
Yeah,
and the White Sox.
One of them's not even going to be in their fucking city in a couple years.
Although that stat,
and the other one's been in 2 World Series in the last 8 years. But I mean, I know they're bad now, but like,
did you see that stat? The A's highest contract ever that wasn't an extension.
Eric Chavez.
No, free agent signing.
$36 million or something.
Well, Chavez was a extension.
66.
So their highest free agent signing ever.
I don't know.
Was 3 years, $30 million to Billy Butler.
He could rake a little bit.
Yeah, but that is fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
So that sucks, Dave.
You think, Ed?
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah,
it's not.
Bad. So the Cubs, I mean, lost 3 of 4 to LA last weekend.
Yeah,
but
nice win against the Dodgers last night. Like they're just
against the Padres.
Or that's what I meant. Yeah.
The thing is, too, I feel like if you would have said coming in 3 to 4, you go 3 and 4 against the Dodgers, obviously a fucking powerhouse early. You would take that coming in, so almost split even. And then it's also, you look at the schedule, like that fucking Central's a dogfight, right?
It really is.
Pirates we've like dodged the Pirates.
Yep.
So you just hope they don't maintain this fucking level of heat for the rest of the season. And I don't know. I like still continuing off of last week. There's still a lot of guys I like. Still a fun team.
Yep.
And
Smiley almost has a perfect game. Like like they just have like a lot
way to lose it.
Oh, just absolute worst. And it's like he can't even really blame anybody there. Like it's just like an instinct play. Then it was just one of those things where it's like did you see Smiley's quote afterwards where they just asked him about it? He's like, man, I just love being a Cub. I love being a Cub. He's like, this is the best ballpark, best place to play. And it just came across so genuine. And it's like they're having fun. Like the vibes around the team are good. And he's just like, and it's like, it's kind of been like a long road back for him to be like a successful pitcher again. He was just like thrilled that he had a good day out.
Was he wearing the Northwestern helmet? I think that was him.
Yeah, that was to joke about, next time he doesn't get truck sticked by Yan Gomes.
It's just a completely different team in all facets.
Yeah, it's the polar opposite.
Yes, it is.
Polar opposite.
Yeah, and like I said, the Dodgers are 13 and 11, so it's kind of weird how the schedules of both teams too have worked out kind of opposite. Where
that's not a fucking excuse. People
it's
are
not
trying
an
to
excuse.
say that.
No.
Like, no, this team's bad. It's not like they're winning. The White Sox are winning and losing games on the margins. Like one play here, they're getting their fucking dick stomped.
Yeah, I mean, you're not a good team.
They can't throw a strike. They can't hit the ball. They can't field the ball. They fucking suck.
If you lose 7 straight, I wonder if there are stats out there for teams that have gone on biggest skids like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
And been able to recover.
I mean, who won the World? The Astros last year? Or I'm sure they had a 5 or 7 game losing streak somewhere in the middle of the season, but like, those guys are good.
Yeah. Well, they have like the proof of concept already.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you don't have that here.
Right.
And people are saying, oh, dude, this is like, 25 games this year. 162 last year. So call that just to make it even 200. And then that's like 250, 70 games.
Yeah.
Bottom 3 team.
Yeah.
And the league.
And the A's are literally trying to pull the Cleveland Indians in Major League.
Yeah.
They're literally trying
They're
to do
doing
that.
that.
They're
Yeah.
doing that in real
Yeah.
life, and you're still as bad as them.
Yeah.
It's
And
embarrassing.
when you're trying.
Yeah.
This is your window.
And their
quote, unquote,
fucking
yeah.
window, in their window since we'll call it 2020. This is their 3rd manager, and we're already talking about 4th.
Yeah. Can I give you a meatball thing to further illustrate the difference between the Cubs and the Sox? And I don't know if this is true or not, but at least with regards to the Cubs. But Tyan's saying that they've had 3 or 4 team dinners already this year. That's 3
I'm sure they
3
have.
or 4 more than they had last year.
And
it's just
I know
they look like they like each other when they're playing. Like
a bunch of guys on the Sox were at Chicago
cut.
Cut like a couple weeks ago. I do know that because people were fucking sending me. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Let them fucking eat their dinners. Like, and it was they were rattling off everybody who was there, and it was a lot of people. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know if there's locker room issues.
Yeah, 'cause people
There
have been
should be, though. Like, there
I've
should be.
heard rumors that there is some locker room issues where some guys don't get along
With the Cubs or the Sox?
Sox.
Oh.
I don't think there are issues as much as divide between cultures. I
Okay.
don't think the Spanish-speaking guys and the English-speaking guys, I think there's just like a hard line, like, you guys do your thing, we'll do our thing. That's what I think. I don't know. But it's
Okay.
a fucking train wreck. It's
Yeah.
a complete train wreck, and everybody in charge of this, from the players through the front office, through the owner, they should feel great amounts of shame.
Yeah.
Great amounts of shame. And if I were on the team, like a player on the team, I would be praying to God they fucking deal me, because this is just embarrassing.
Tough.
It's so
We
embarrassing.
can move it on. It is draft night. I want to talk about the Bears. I want to talk about, because we got all fucking summer to talk about those teams. Before we do get to, we'll toss to Renner, and
Yeah,
then we'll
let's
come
do
out and
Renner,
we'll talk
yeah.
about it all. But before we do get to Renner, though, I want to talk about a big sale we have with TasteRealChicago.com.
Okay.
A big sale, 25% off beef kits at TasteRealChicago.com. Use code MIDSHOW. The sale actually lasts a week, but don't wait. Don't be coming in. The sale is from today, April 27th until May 4th. Don't be looking May 5th.
Yeah.
And with your pud in your hand.
You might be out of luck there.
Yes.
Dave, I feel like you should host a Kentucky Derby party for the boys this year on your patio, and we'll just do beef kits all day.
Yeah,
out
like
there.
this is the season. Memorial Day's
Yeah.
around the corner. You want to get
I might do that.
You want to make sure you have all your stuff ready to go, because if you're sitting there and you got all the meat, you got everything ready to go, and you don't got the muffletta or the jardinera, you're just
What'd you even do?
yeah. What'd you even do exactly? And also shout out to Jim as well, Chicago Tribune Readers Choice Best Sandwich Shop. They won #1 best
I
sandwich.
was
No surprises there.
I get a bunch of pop-up ads for Infatuation. You know that site?
I don't know if I do.
Yeah, Infatuate. It's a good they do it in
maybe I
multiple
do.
cities, but
Yeah, they do it for every
Yeah,
city.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I was looking in New York too, but they list, I don't know, maybe 20 of the best restaurants in Chicago, but they don't. It's not like Alinea,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And Jim was on there, so
Well
the people know.
deserved.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
great spot. Go check them out. 901 West Randolph. Probably order ahead because
yeah.
they're busy, but it's worth it. I
bumping.
promise you, it's worth it.
Yep.
But make sure you get into that beef kit deal, guys. I mean, goes today until May 5th. TasteRealChicago.com. Go grab everything. All right, let's toss it to NFL lead draft analyst, formerly of Pro Football Focus, Mike Renner. All right, so now we are in the interview portion of the show. We are joined by Mike Renner. He is the former PFF lead NFL draft analyst. Mike, thank you for doing this. We could cut the scuttlebutt, and let's just talk. Number 9. What's the latest of what you're hearing at 1:34 p.m. Central Time on Wednesday?
It's a big one for the boys.
I think it's offensive line, right? I think the dream scenario is Peter Skoronski. You just need good, right? You don't really care if he's a right tackle, if he's a guard, wherever he lines up. You just need someone that's going to protect Justin Fields and tomorrow, right? And so to me, Skoronski's like the most NFL-ready guy. Maybe he doesn't have the arm length to play tackle or whatnot. I think he'll be fine if he does. But he's a guy who tomorrow can step in and he's going to be good. There's no other tackle you can say that about this class.
Now, what about the arm length thing is kind of driving me crazy, because we heard similar things about Northwestern tackle Rashawn Slater, that he was going to have to kick inside, that he wasn't long enough. and then he gets to the league, and he's one of the premier tackles in the NFL. So is this like, is arm length something that's like overblown? Because all I hear about is Skoronski's arm length.
I think it is. And I think there's a good enough track record to say when a guy is that good. And like maybe he'd be better at guard, but tackle's way more valuable. There's so many fewer of them that you give him that chance there. So 32.25 inches is his arm length. Exact same as Braden Smith, the right tackle for the Colts. That's the shortest of any arm in the NFL. Rashawn Slater, who you mentioned, I believe is 33 inches. So it's low, but there's guys like Zach Martin who are in similar range, Marshall Yanda, who were elite guards. And then they kicked out to tackle, and they didn't really miss a beat. They were good. They were damn good tackles when they got their chance there. So that's how I view Skoronski. It's like, yeah, he'd be an elite guard, but if you put him at tackle, he's still going to be one of the better ones. You know, he's still going to be a well above average tackle, which is really all you need right now if you're Chicago.
Now, Mike, are you saying, is this more, just to clarify, you're hearing this, or you believe that if you had the keys, you would go with Skoronski? What exactly?
That's what I believe. I'm not hearing this. The Chicago, I've not heard one way or the other from who I know and where their head's at.
We're hearing some things. We're hearing some things that maybe arm length is important to people. Who knows? But
I would love it.
Me too.
Love it.
Me too. That's the way, because it's like, that is the thing, at least for me at number 9, is that you need a guy who's going to start on your offense. Like, it doesn't necessarily matter. Or somewhere on your defense. You need a starter. Like, you can't miss on that pick, and it needs to be. They have these gaping holes, so that's where it's like Skoronski makes sense. Paris Johnson also seems to fit that bill. How much further is he a day one starter? It sounds like you're less convinced that he's a day one starter.
I just think he hasn't played enough, and especially if you're drafting him to then play another position, because he was a right guard 2021, left tackle last year. And you always get wary about offensive linemen who played not a lot of football, because it's a developmental, like you develop through reps, like through getting reps against better competition. And he just really doesn't have a lot. So that's my worry with him. And in Chicago, I don't think you want to move Braxton Jones. You know, he was good enough as a rookie, right? Like he looked awesome for a guy who's a first year player jumping up from the level of competition he did for Southern Utah. So I think right tackle is where you're slotting in anyone if you are slotting into this offensive line here.
Is there anybody, because the Bears' next pick, as we're talking right now, is at 53. Is there anybody in that range, whether it's the kid Bergeron from Syracuse or the North Dakota State kid, was it Mooch or whatever that guy's name is, who's got no front teeth, looks like an animal? I kind of want him just for like the memes and the T-shirts. Is it worth it to try to roll the dice and get an impact player on defense at 9 if available? Like let's say Witherspoon's there at 9. Is it worth it to just be like, we'll see who we can get a tackle later?
I don't think so. The thing is, they do have options, right? Like Alex Leatherwood, you don't know what you're going to get out of him. You know, he was a first rounder and just never got a chance to develop. Yeah, right. Like he just never got a chance, right? And he's only in year 3. Like it's not unrealistic to think he can make a jump. But I don't think of this class tackle I'm waiting on. Okay. I think that's a much thinner position than defense, especially corner, like you mentioned. Even like defensive end, there's more guys later on. If you're looking at positions that I would call thin, that, you know, they obviously need them. They need a lot of positions, but like that, they obviously need DT, tackle, OT. Those are those 2 positions that not a lot of talent in this class, and so you're not really going to find it. Probably pick 53.
So saying that, given everything you've heard, and would you be willing to take that flyer on Carter if he does fall to 9?
Hell yeah. I mean, I would not. The guy is so, I'll just say, like, he's not going to get worse off the field, right? Like, this was his wake-up call. He already got it. If he hasn't gotten it yet, I mean, obviously, teams have their own opinions of players, but, like, the last 6 months were about as much, again, of a wake-up call as you can get. And it cost him, if he falls to 9, it's already cost him millions and millions of dollars, his off-field stuff. And so if he doesn't get his head on straight, obviously, like, that's a possibility, but I think this was his wake-up call, and he was, you know, immature at Georgia and still the best player on the best defense in college football history, or like modern college football history. So it doesn't take, like, he's not like a guy that needs to work super hard, right? Like he's already damn good. He's already a guy that can slot in and be a day one, almost damn near Pro Bowler. So yeah, I'm taking him if I'm the Chicago Bears and he's on the clock.
You're sprinting to the podium at 9 if he's there.
Oh, dude. I mean, him versus the other DTs in this class. Now, I think Brzee could be good in time. Like Jalen Carter he's a different animal. Those guys don't come around every year.
If the Bears are going to take a corner here at 9 and we're sitting there and we're like, oh, which one's going to slip? Which one should we be more hopeful that falls to us, Gonzalez or Witherspoon?
I think Witherspoon's better. I think if you want to play press man, though, he's probably your better bet because Gonzalez is more versatile. So I think for the Bears, for Matt Eberflus, just like what he's done over the years, I think Gonzalez is the better one, a better option for you. But
from a scheme standpoint, you're saying?
Both. From a scheme standpoint,
Okay.
yeah. Schematically, I think he fits more what they've done in the past. But like they're both versatile enough that, again, I'm splitting hairs here. They're top 10 prospects. They're guys that you take in the top 10 at corner.
Are either one of those guys comparable, or how do they compare to Sauce Gardner coming out last year? Because he transformed that defense. Are they in that class, or are they a tick below?
I love Stingley and Sauce as prospects. I thought were like two of the best corners I've graded out. And so I have them tick below those two, but not too far off that it'd be crazy to have them step in. Like I have them better than Trent McDuffie, who now Sauce was obviously electric last year, but McDuffie was a starter on a Super Bowl team and was not a liability whatsoever. Like he was a value add for that team day one. And obviously he goes in like the 20s, but I have him a bet. So a little bit better than McDuffie, not quite as good as Sauce, is probably a damn good, probably a day one type of impact player.
What's a storyline just in general that you don't think people are talking about enough right now?
I think possibility of two running backs going first round. Everyone's banging on the position. But I think after last year, everyone can't stop talking about too high defenses and, too high, run the ball. I think getting a running back that can take teams out of too high, and especially for certain teams, is going to be valuable. I think teams are going to target guys like Bijan, guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, guys like even Devin Achane, who have like high-end skill sets in certain ways, shapes, or forms. I think they'll go high. So I think we see two backs go in the first round.
Oh. That could lead us right into that. Is it crazy to go Bijan at 9?
That one's one where I'm like on the fence. If it's Bijan versus like solidifying this offensive line, I'm leaning offensive line. But I don't think it's that crazy because they're the type of team that can benefit from a Bijan, right? Like I think the teams that you want to draft Bijan Robinson are ones that take your running game from, top 5 to unquestionably number 1. And if you're the Bears right now, you have to be doing everything in your power to put resources around to make the running game that unstoppable, right? Because Justin Fields is so dynamic. It looks like, he's as good, if not, even more dangerous last year on tape than Lamar Jackson was at his MVP season. And you have to buy into that wholesale. And so if you give him an offensive line and a Bijan Robinson next to him, you just cannot have options as a defense. You have to put every resource into stopping the run, because if you're outmanned, that's your only recourse, is to bring more safeties down the box. And then that just gives Justin Fields such easy looks. So 9's a little rich because, again, I think you're passing on what could be a high-end offensive line, and that's where I would want to build and solidify and make sure that's like elite first. But it would be damn near impossible to stop Bijan and Justin Fields in the same backfield.
If both of the tackles we mentioned, Johnson and Skoronski, are somehow gone by 9, does that make Bijan an option? Or our own in-house draft analyst, Stephen Shea, came out with his mock today, had JSN going number 9, which made me want to puke. Where are you on JSN to the Bears, and is Bijan the best option if both tackles are gone?
I just had lunch with Steven yesterday. He didn't tell me that one. I don't like that one. The JSN pick I don't like. I don't think he's DJ Moore. This is like best case scenario is DJ Moore. You got him already.
Mm-hmm.
There's no even room for him to play. I'd rather go Bijan the JSN for the Bears, like short term, obviously. But I think you're still a bad roster, right? Like, not to be too much of a dick, but
we know
there are still holes on this defense that are premium positions, whether it's corner that we just talked about, whether it's defensive end, that the NFL knows, and especially defensive end, the NFL knows how to identify the talent there. And the elite end guys, they go in the first round. Myles Garrett, the Bosas, the guys drafted at that range, the NFL is good at identifying talent there. So I do think I'm leaning more towards, Lucas Van Ness, he's a Chicago guy, or like a Nolan Smith before I'm reaching for that second tier of tackles. If I'm in control of the Bears.
It's a good point. I do wonder, obviously, Wilson or Anderson probably is not going to fall. But do they just reach up and grab one of those guys that he just mentioned if they go edge? Because it definitely is a fucking need.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And I'm wondering about the depth of that position. I texted you about Foskey and Andre Carter, and it feels like Andre Carter maybe hit the shine is off of him a little bit. Can you get a guy who can be productive as a rookie in that I think the Bears are picking right now 53, 61, 64. Can they get a starting type or at least a rotational type D end in one of those slots? Is that possible?
I think you can get like a high floor guy. Like Foskey, I think to me is a high floor, maybe just low ceiling where you're comfortable with him starting. To me, it reminds me of like a Preston Smith almost, where it's just like cool, like you're happy with him. You're not gonna be a lights out defensive line if he's one of your starters, right? You're not going to be the best D-line in the NFL with a guy who's just solid in that regard. You need like shoot a little higher if you're drafting. So that's kind of how I feel about the guys going in that 53 range, whether it's him, guys like Tuli Pulotu from USC. I'm trying to think of who else. Maybe I think like a Keon White from Georgia Tech would be
what
in
about
that range,
Carl
but he might
Brooks
be a
guy?
little bit higher.
A little Maction, Carl Brooks from Bowling Green. I feel like I see his name thrown around a lot.
So he's probably back into day 2, early into day 3, and he's weird because he's like a 300-pound edge. Not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but he was productive as all hell. There's a few guys kind of in that class who are in that mold of just like very productive, don't quite fit the mold. Andre Carter being one of those as well, but I think those are like you take the flyer in the 4th round, almost like when Trevis Gibson's coming out, and just hope he develops into something. That's how I see those guys.
So something that has been making Bears fans puke for probably the better part of 4 months now is that we gave up 32 in that Claypool trade. Is there a guy in your mind right now who, if the Steelers take him there, Bears fans should be like, oh, no, they're going to think about that guy forever?
I wish you hadn't asked that question.
Well, I just need to be braced for it.
Yeah.
I would love if they took like Quentin Johnston, the DC wide receiver there, and just you get the direct comparable every year. It's like checking Johnston's numbers versus Chase Claypool because they're similar like types of wide receivers, big body, outside type of guys. But yeah, Claypool just – it never developed, man. I mean, he's a hell of an athlete, obviously, like an all-time athlete. But I think I texted when he got traded. I was like, dude, he's like a basketball player who's got just thrown on a football field. It is just so unclean to his game, and it's just not tight enough to be consistently targeted outside of just like your big go balls on the outside sometimes.
That is actually a nightmare, Mike, because you say that right there. I mean, Claypool's free after this year.
Yeah.
You got a whole fresh clock with Johnston. Obviously, Mooney's free, and then you got DJ Moore for a couple of years.
Well, they're getting Marvin Harrison Jr. next year with that Carolina pick, so it's fine.
Hey.
So
yeah. Yeah. What about do you have any guys like that are sleeper guys down the board? Because I have a couple of little guys that I like that I feel like I just like football players, and sometimes I feel like guys fall too far just because of how small they are. So do you have any guys that are like, the 5th, 6th, 7th round that you're like, keep an eye on him? And I'll give you my
I love
list
Nick
afterwards.
Herbig. Nick Herbig from Wisconsin. I don't know where he goes. I've seen now I did just see Daniel Jeremiah had him in his top 100, but I think he's like the first guy I saw have him in the top 100. He's a Wisconsin edge linebacker, whatever. He's just he's good at football, and he's really young still. I mean, just turned 21. He's a true redshirt sophomore coming out. But he's 240 for an edge, which is too small for an edge, maybe not athletic enough. But then off ball, I think he moves really well and is a really good tackler and can take on blocks. But then he's just never played off ball. So he's one guy that I would love if I'm Chicago to bring in just as as many options as you can on this defensive line of guys who can probably get after the passer, because you just need to start stockpiling that side ball.
Yeah, just a third down guy. All right, so my little guys that I like that Keaton Mitchell, Eastern Carolina. I miss having that small third down guy who can just take the ball and like a dump off and get 30 yards out of it. Does he have a place? And then I like a little linebacker, Ivan Pace. So he's like a 5'9" guy from Cincinnati. But like when you watch him, like he's just a guy that pops. So what do you think of those two guys for late round guys?
Keaton Mitchell, I love his tape, man. I mean, for a 178-pounder who's like, massively undersized, you're just never getting more than what you mentioned there about like checkdowns. Like his tape was electric. His GPS times too. So he ran like 4.37, but he had the best. He was as fast, if not faster, more consistently than Devon Chain, Texas A&M back, who like was 4.32, and everyone's like raving about his speed. But Mitchell was. I was on sidelines for the Cincinnati ECU game this past year. So I was living in Cincinnati, and just seeing him go down the sideline, I hadn't even like scouted this guy yet, and I was like, who was that? Because he just puts a second gear that not a lot of guys can touch. So I'm a big fan of his. But again, just a pure space, like you mentioned. You're not workhorsing them whatsoever. But in that offense, you're creating space, right? When you have an option at quarterback, like it gives you windows on the outside that don't exist in your normal run-the-mill run game. So big fan of him. Pace is the one that I would love to draft Pace if I know I'm blitzing my linebackers. Because like on tape at Cincinnati, he was a glorified like pass rusher. As an off-ball, as a 5'10", 230-pound off-ball linebacker. He had double-digit sacks. I think he was like top 10 in the NCAA in pressures, and he's an off-ball linebacker. But the guy is insanely quick, insanely physical. If he was 6'3" instead of 5'10", he's a first-round pick. But I mean, like we saw with Malcolm Rodriguez last year, that dude came in and made an impact for Lions. Yep. I have him just outside. I have him right on the top 100, right at the end of it. But I bet draft-wise, he probably goes a little bit later than that.
Okay, so we like both of them. They're both 53-man guys, late picks.
Are you buying this late Levis steam, or is this just a smokescreen? Because it's kind of the strangest thing right now.
I think the NFL is always high on him. I don't think I buy him at 2 to the Texans, but I buy him like to 4 to the Colts. I don't think he makes it outside the top 5. He just whether it's like NFL, like how they evaluate, just obviously like a little different than just pure raw numbers as we saw when Daniel Jones was coming out. But they value poise, moxie, like leadership, like the things that Will Levis, is like that everyone's raving about with him. Like he has those things. Now he doesn't have on-field performance or numbers that match any of these other guys.
Is that a problem?
But the intangibles, I mean, it's not a problem. I'm worried about his accuracy more than the rest of it, because he misses a lot of throws, and he has a weird release.
Sounds a lot like Jake Locker to me.
Yeah, dude. I mean that was his comp with the PFF draft guy. But like the short arm release, I don't think he can actually put touch on it because he doesn't give himself enough time. Like the arm has to hit one angle, and it's a laser beam, and he throws some laser beams, but he can't get it up with that arm release. So he really just is going to struggle with touch throws as long as he's not until he overhauls his mechanics.
So so you think Bryce won? Your prediction would be him to 4, Levis at 4, and then where do you think Stroud? Where do you think Stroud and Richardson fill out there?
Dude, I could see a Stroud little fall. Like I could see him being the 4th quarterback off the board because teams buy this S2 stuff. It's real. I know from talking to people in the league that have like used it a long time that they see a lot of value in it. And now it's again only 2 teams per division, but his scores were bad, and he's taken it multiple times, and all of them were bad. And that's something that you'd almost just expect a quarterback has that processing to him. And I think the NFL is going to put stock in it. He could fall. So I like those 2 fits, the Young and the Levis. Richardson, I have fucking no handle on where he's going to go, just because he's such a wild card. It's really eye of the beholder with him. And then Stroud, I think, could tumble down a little bit, not too far, but maybe he's fallen to the Lions, fallen to the Raiders, or someone like that. And they're just like, we were planning on taking a quarterback, but didn't think he'd fall to us.
And no, I've seen crazy ones where the Hooker jumped a lot. Do you have any feel on Hooker right now, or where's your range for him?
Yeah, Mike Tannenbaum mocking him 5th overall to Seahawks. I almost fell out of my chair when I saw that. I was just like, the 25-year-old quarterback with the torn ACL gets drafted 5th overall. I will believe that shit when I see it. I think he could sneak it in the first round, but if I had to bet, I don't think he does. Because you get 1 first-round pick. I guess obviously in this draft, some teams get 2, but to say my 1 first-round pick isn't going to see the field as a rookie, and then when he does see the field, he's 26 years old and has to learn a brand new offense because Tennessee, what they were doing offensively is not what anyone in the NFL looks like. It's the most collegey offense that exists in the landscape. So I don't think it will. But I don't know. We'll see. I've definitely been wrong before.
Yeah. Well, Mike, thanks for jumping on. I hope you're right. I hope we do get Skoronski at 9. But yeah, thanks again. Where could people find your stuff? I'm sure you're going to be moving and shaking a lot today. So.
Yeah, so I'm on the Bleacher Report draft show this weekend every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can see all my takes there. And then shit, I don't know where I'll be after that. You can find me on Twitter at @MikeRenner_. So.
Beautiful. Mike, thanks again. We appreciate it.
For sure, fellas. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks to Mike for coming on. Chief, initial thoughts.
Yeah, I think everybody is kind of in the same page. Like everyone here, you want Skoronski, right? You want Skoronski.
Yeah, I'm on Skoronski.
Yeah,
I think, listen, a lot of people are kind of getting bogged down into the fact that, all right, we have 2 guards, right? We signed Davis.
Yep.
And then Tevin Jenkins looked pretty good.
Yep.
We also don't know, Jenkins' durability. That's a fact. We don't know about that. People are concerned about Braxton Jones. He looked solid. He was certainly durable.
Yeah.
He played every fucking game. So do
And
you move him to right?
Southern
Do you
Utah,
move Peter
right?
to right? Yeah,
That's a big learning curve right there.
Right.
It is. So, but it's just my thing is if you go based on talent and then you figure out where you're going to shuffle the
just get your
deck
best
around.
5.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my opinion. I want Pete. Obviously, I know a little biased because we know the guy, but it's not even about that. We're going off of film. We're going. Dave, you watch every fucking.
He's a stud. He's an absolute stud, man.
You take away someone from the defense when you get a guy like him. He's so technically sound.
Yeah,
and that's my pick. Obviously, listen, if we go Witherspoon or Gonzalez, I'm happy as fuck too.
Yeah, and Renner said that Gonzalez is a better fit because he's more of a zone scheme guy. There's just something about the way the Witherspoon plays. He's mean. I like guys that are mean, that are a little nasty, that will fly up in the run game or on a screen pass and take your head off.
Will number 4 do that on their defense?
Who?
Number 4?
Eddie Jackson. I don't want to start Eddie Jackson. We're in draft mode now. Let's wait until September.
Well, I'm saying he used to do that. I think they need more of that. So that's why
they need a little bit more bite. I would agree. And Witherspoon is he seems like a tone setter kind of guy for a defense.
Fucking mouth.
And
I mean, our DBs, we'll just have a bunch of dogs back there.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Johnson, Jaquan Brisker,
Gordon in the slot, and the nickel.
I do think Witherspoon's good, really good. He's a stud, and like you said, he'll fucking smack you in the mouth. But they kind of got some depth there. They don't have much at all.
I don't think they do. I think they got 2 corner. They got Gordon, who's better as a nickel.
All those guys are like late rounders though.
Gordon's a 2nd round pick. Jalen Johnson's a 2nd round pick. Brisker's a 2nd round pick.
Brisker was 2nd.
Yeah,
they've had a history, and I know
Brisker's a safety. They don't really have. You want Vildor out there again?
No,
exactly.
He stinks.
All I want is one. And I do have and maybe it's I talk to Tom too much, our producer. The way that Sauce Gardner transformed that Jets defense, he made that defense unbelievable.
Yeah, but the
year.
Jets also have a lot of pieces around him.
They do.
And that's where I want to make sure that those guys back there are getting taken care of because that's what fucking feeds the whole system. Right?
Totally.
That's what feeds the whole machine.
Yeah.
And we are fucking.
They're the worst pass rush team in the league.
So grim up there, man.
Yeah.
So I'd be happy with either corner. Like I said, I'd be happy with Pete. If we go with another offensive lineman, I'll obviously support him, but he's my first pick. The only people who I don't know if I'd feel great about if we drafted would be Carter.
Yeah, I'd
just
be nervous.
because it's a concern of
yeah.
I'd be nervous. I would not to say I wouldn't be excited. And I would find JSN puzzling as well.
So you've kind of backed off of it because if the Bears trade back, you're in on JSN.
It was a different argument.
Oh, what was the
you
argument
said it
then?
was crazy. I said it wouldn't shock me, but I don't think it's a good move.
Okay,
that's
then
the difference.
I misunderstood.
If they ended up doing this, obviously Claypool and Mooney are free agents.
Yeah,
you're slotting in Moore and JSN for the future. I don't think they should do that.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be crazy shocked.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
I would be surprised if they did it at 9. And I also feel like if they take and Renner's,
I mean, more of a shock at 9.
Yeah.
I think the scenario we talked about was trading back to like
Yeah.
13 or 15.
I will say Renner opened up my mind a little bit to
Bijan?
Yeah.
I was telling you that the other day.
You were.
Listen, if we do it, like it's going to be electric.
Yeah, and there
It's gonna be electric.
There is something to say that he might just be the best player in the draft. He's just not at a position that's valuable. But 20 years ago, he's probably the unquestioned number 1 pick.
Is it smart though if we take Bijan Robinson?
I
That's
don't
the
know.
question.
They just need like
I don't think so.
I don't.
They have a good running back right now, and they'll probably draft someone late or sign someone that's completely.
Well, they did sign Dante Foreman.
Yeah.
Dante
Well,
Foreman.
that's true. I mean,
I think he's
He's a good running back.
he's a very good running back whose numbers were
Only
never
on a 1 year
impressive.
deal. Like the guy's
Yeah.
going to want to fucking go
Yeah.
out there and prove some shit.
That too, but he also like if you look at his numbers as a back when McCaffrey was out hurt or after the trade, like he puts up monster numbers, but it's like oh, he only had 600 yards, he only had 400 yards. It's because McCaffrey's getting every single snap.
Right.
So like when he plays, he's good. So I like him. Like I think that's a pretty good 1-2 punch. I wouldn't mind taking a different type of back later. But yeah, but Bijan, there's the way he's so.
It's
fucking
weird for me
good.
to say
unreal.
this. I would not be surprised if they draft 3 Northwestern players.
So the DT,
The DT,
and then who's the other one?
Tomway, Borway,
Yeah.
and then Evan Holder, running back, who's very good.
He could be like what 7th round,
Yeah,
something like that.
5th to 7th.
Yeah.
Or a priority sign, but he's an NFL running back.
Okay.
If
He's
you
an
draft
NFL running
Bijan
back.
though, your evaluations for everyone else gets wildly skewed.
What
You
do
know,
you mean?
like I think he's going to be such a game changer on the offense
Yeah.
that like I don't know. Can you really evaluate Fields and some of these wide receivers as well? Because like the unit is going to be so nasty skill wise. Like, does that make sense?
Totally.
Like, it's kind of a dumb thought because it's like, well, that's what you want. You want to
Right.
put those guys in good situations.
Yeah.
But the reality of it all is you're not going to be able to sign a lot of those guys when the time comes.
Yeah.
Because
I wonder.
like, you
yeah.
just can't have that much money sunk into
tied
skill
up.
players.
They still have some good amount of cap space, which I would
They
assume.
do.
I would assume that Mooney's gonna. I feel like Mooney will get a contract. I feel like he will.
I don't know, dude.
You don't know?
I like Mooney. I think he's good,
Yeah.
but I think they're full like blank slate.
Yeah.
You know, and they're gonna see who he meshes with, man.
Yeah.
And you have to.
Yeah.
Like, why would you like? I think Mooney. I like Mooney. I would prefer him over Claypool to re-sign.
Mm-hmm.
But if he goes out this year and he balls with Claypool and he doesn't ball with Mooney,
Yeah.
you're not going to go with Mooney.
Yeah. You're probably not taking both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But that's a great problem to have. I
It's a
guess.
great
Yeah.
problem to have. Similar to if you draft Skronsky and
Yeah.
you have we got too many players.
Well, and that's like the
we don't even know what we
like,
have. We're basing it off a probable
You're right.
that Tevin Jenkins is going to stay healthy. We're
Yeah.
basing it off that Braxton Jones is a real deal. Like we saw Charles Leno come in and like, oh wow, for a 7th rounder out of Boise State, he was really strong.
10-year
And then
career.
he like listen, he was durable and he's still a starter, but like he did have his peaks and valleys a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but like exactly for a 7th rounder, and
he was
so,
a great 7th
yeah,
rounder. Phil Emery, best thing he did
Probably, yeah,
besides Alshon.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, and like that was. Remember that there's that clip where Skronsky just gets
Lucas
smacked.
Van Ness. He's going to be a first rounder probably.
No, he definitely is.
Yeah.
Van Ness is. They're saying like he's probably a top 15 pick.
Yeah.
But so like that clip, everyone like I've seen that posted a lot.
Everybody loves that clip.
Because he just chucks him.
Yeah.
But I saw like an extended 5-minute one where it's Skronsky versus Van Ness. Skronsky
Stones
ate him.
him. Yeah,
ate him
stones
alive.
him. Yeah,
ate
that's-
him alive. So
He gave up 1 sack in college. That was the play.
yeah. So
I mean, you're facing other good football players.
I think he's a tackle, and then I just think you take him, and then it's like we basically have our unit, assuming some level of health.
Very worst, he's going to be a really good offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Like his floor is a ceiling.
Yeah, he's a 10, 12-year pro.
Yeah,
starter.
exactly.
Yeah.
And he's going to go to a lot of Pro Bowls, probably make a couple All Pros,
Mm-hmm.
especially if he does have to kick inside. But like, he's going to be an above-average tackle or an elite guard.
Yeah.
I'd like if that's what they take at 9. I am all for that. Give Mac and Khalil Mack, Herbert,
Yep.
and Foreman room to run, especially like
and Fields.
Especially-
and Fields. I hope that Fields next year is around like 500 rush yards.
And like 38
That would be
passing.
well. I mean, that's a
big year.
incredibly
Yeah, no,
huge
but-
jump. He's
right.
only had 200-yard passing games last year,
Yeah.
but
And like you said, I
it's
like
a find out year.
next year the Panthers pick is probably going to be top 10.
Yeah.
I love Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
If that's the time for him, and everyone's saying it, it's not a new thought. If Fields does shit the bed, you can
Caleb
look at one of those
Williams.
guys.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you do take a more sturdy guy this year and you take like more of a, like they get a whole new offseason with free agency, then maybe you take a more of a chance on a guy in the
Yeah.
top. Or maybe you take the chance now on Carter and you get a more sturdy. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Bears are, regardless, in a good spot.
I just feel like this is such an important one. Like, you can't miss on this pick. Like, you have to get a starter from this pick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah.
You,
So-
you can't fuck this up.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's why, that's more than anything else. Maybe not more than anything else, but that's a big reason why I'm on Skronsky. And then the other thing that I like, the idea of, and we talked about this before too, this is a deep draft for tight ends. And if you don't love Claypool, get in that Laporta in the second round or maybe early third from Iowa, and you have him and Kmet. And so now you have like I love two tight end offenses, especially with guys who can run routes and get open, and then because then you're so dynamic.
Eddie just got the heebie-jeebies. I could hear
yeah
it because of all the fucking tight ends they had a couple years ago.
Oh, God.
well, they had 11, but none of them were any good. So, but if you have two quality,
Right.
it's like almost like when the Patriots had Gronk and Hernandez. It was just like good luck scheming for that,
Right.
Because
Tough.
it's impossible. And Laporta, like with the ball in his hand, like I don't know, I get like easy routes over the middle, and then guys that can make plays, and I feel like that offense would be electric.
Yeah, we'll see. Look, regardless, like I said, Bears are in a good spot.
Yep.
You got a final prediction, Lance? Any feelings? Big Bears fan, Lance.
I really don't know. I have no prediction, but I'm totally sold on Bijan. Screw it. Go get the best guy. Run the ball. Just get 2,000 yards. If we had the most amount of rushing yards we've ever had in Bears history last season, you had Bijan Robinson. Let's go.
Just run a,
But yeah,
just
I mean,
run a
like
fucking
how,
wishbone.
how much
Why
better
not?
is he than Monty though?
Oh, I think a lot.
Yeah.
better.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
At least
I-
give us
I-
more
he's
of the run.
He's like Saquon.
Frankly,
man.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Also, we could transition out. Keep that camera on the producers.
hold on, real quick here. I'm looking at the Carolina does play the Bears. That's going to be like a must-win game next year. But their schedule's not easy. They got Miami,
It's a last place
Seahawks.
schedule,
Bears.
but yeah.
But it's not. I'm Dallas.
Yeah, we'll see.
Put that camera back on the producers. I want to see this guy sweat about his fucking New York Rangers.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask about his new quarterback.
No, I want to see him sweat about the New York. I don't give a Aaron Rodgers. He's at least he's gone. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck either.
Yes.
See you
He's
later.
Gone. It's so great. I can't wait to see these people in Wisconsin see what it's like to not have a quarterback. So I'm excited for that.
You be careful when you
I
what
know.
you wish for.
I know what I'm doing when I say that. Yeah, I'll knock on wood. But regardless,
You want to see him sweat about it's 2-2. Drop
I want
two.
to talk about some NHL playoffs.
Yeah. All right. Tommy,
What do you want to know?
how you, where are you?
Not confident at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Are you-
I think it's Chiefs' fault. Because,
Why is it my fault?
Because
I was super confident.
Ryan always
yesterday.
likes to support positivity with the Rangers, which is usually bounces me out. He did this last year in the playoffs, and it definitely worked out. But I went into this I think last year I was somehow more confident, this year I was definitely more confident in the first round, and even Ryan said it. He was it was the first time he's seen me positive, and it
ever.
completely fired back in my face.
How do you feel as an unbiased person here?
About the Rangers?
Yeah.
I still they've lost the last few games in Madison Square Garden, but I don't stylistically they're playing the game that they want to play. They want a low event game. The Devils want to be in transition. They want to get up and down. The Rangers are kind of dictating the pace of the play. The Rangers have to get the power play going. That was really the big difference between games 1 and 2 and games 3 and 4 is that the power play sucked. Now, I will say the Devils' penalty kill during the regular season was pretty good, but I think they need to switch it up a little bit. Kane's so much more dangerous on the power play when he's attacking from the left side, and they have him just basically as a stationary one-timer option, just trying to hit seam passes back and forth, and he's on the right wing. So I would switch that, but I think that they have the better, more talented team. Where this fucking goalie for the Devils came from, Schmid, I had never heard of him.
Such bullshit.
He was in the USHL 2 years ago. So he went from he was a journeyman USHL guy. Like I looked up his elite prospects page, which is like your baseball prospectus or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like his numbers in junior were absolutely garbage except for 1 year. Then he's like a Swiss guy, and he like was, all over the place, never like not even like the starter for some of these teams. And then he gets to our guy Kevin Dineen in Utica last year, has like a solid year, and then they're like, well, we're bringing him up for the playoffs because which Vanacek wasn't good the first couple games for the Devils, and he's been like rock solid, like absolute. How teams, and like that's like one of your
Fine
things.
guys.
The Hawks hadn't had a goal. Well, the Hawks actually they found Scott.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like Scott's story a little bit.
Yeah. Well, this guy not as dramatic as Scott. Scott did like 12 years, and he was in the minors forever. This guy was just like but the jump from the USHL to the NHL is like astronomical.
Yeah.
The fact that he was there 18 months ago or whatever it was it blows my mind, and he's been he's been a difference maker. So they got to find a way to get to him. They got to get the power play humming again. But I do think that the Rangers, their D are so big, they're so mobile, they're still kind of controlling the pace for the most part. I know it's not fun to watch, Tom. Like it's gross, it's ugly to watch.
That last game was like one of the worst games of like playoff hockey I've seen in my life.
Yeah, and I guess it is to a degree. Like it's like an inside straight because it's like we have to get 2 goals first. Because it's like if you don't get that second goal, and you're only having 5-6 quality chances a night, then that makes it makes it super dramatic. When you miss one, it's like, well, the game's fucking over.
It's been a fun first round though.
The first round's been awesome.
Yeah. Now
the big question, and we're sitting here like we said earlier on Wednesday, Toronto is up 3-1. And they look different to me. Like Ryan O'Reilly looks like he's made like a cultural difference. He's had a couple big moments, had the big goal. I love watching Maple Leaf Square just absolutely have their hearts ripped out. So they're up 3-1 against Tampa. Do you think this is the year where they get over the hump? Have you been watching that series at all? That to me has been like the most electric series.
What was that, the last game where they scored 3 goals in the third period to tie it 4-4, and then they won?
They won an OT.
Yeah, won an OT. I think this is the year for the Leafs. They get past it.
They get past Tampa?
I do.
Yeah.
I do think so.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then congratulations, you got Boston.
Just that game the other day. That
never happens to them.
Yeah, that was
and it's
different.
like they never win that game 3 either. Like historically, that's a game that they find a way to lose.
I think
and
so.
And that was one where O'Reilly had the goal late. So it would be it'd be nice for our guy Biz. He's so good on TV. And it's because he doesn't try to be anything besides what he is.
Yeah, he was going
when they
nuts.
were down, I think it was game 3. They were down in that game too, and he wasn't swearing obviously, but this is like absolutely inexcusable. Like just ripping the Leafs on national TV,
mad.
and it's like his fan like from when he was 14 like came out. And it was, I don't know, it was like great to see. It would be like if I was out there talking about the Hawks, but Biz, he's like no tie. He's just like, and he's like genuinely pissed about the Leafs. So
I love it.
Yeah, I love that. And so I think they'll.
How does that work for him since he obviously is affiliated with another NHL team? Like being an outward fan for one when you call the games for another?
He roots for the Yotes too. But the Yotes are so bad always. But if the Yotes were in the playoffs, he would get behind the Yotes. But who knows how long the Yotes will be the Yotes at this point.
It's just Biz.
Yeah.
It's just Biz.
Yeah.
And honestly, the Islanders won't say die.
Yeah.
It's
play
been
with
good.
when he was in Pittsburgh?
They're in the minors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I got to say, too, the NBA playoffs have been awesome as well.
The only series I'm like paying attention to is the Golden State Sacramento one.
Great series.
Yeah.
Great series. The
Good
fucking whole
storylines.
Draymond controversy.
Yep.
When he came in, he gave them such a jolt. He didn't start. Light the beam.
Yeah, that's fucking sweet.
Yeah, they might be dead, though.
You think it's over? Yeah. What's that one? 3-2?
Was Fox playing? What was the latest on De'Aaron Fox? If he's not
but
playing.
he's fucking electric to watch.
Yeah,
He's
the
awesome.
Bucks are donezo, aren't they?
3-1. I don't know if they're done. I wouldn't say that.
Jimmy Butler is just.
I mean,
that's like one of the hardest things.
Strus is going off a little bit
too, but yeah, but that's like Jimmy Butler, the Bulls had to trade him in order to rebuild, and then he goes to Miami, and he's bounced around a little bit. They had to stop in Philly, but like he's still like one of the best players in the league, and the Bulls still can't get out of their own way.
Yeah, Fox says he is playing with a fractured left index finger. So
is he a lefty?
No.
Okay,
I don't believe so.
All right,
I don't believe so. So
he could be all right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, but it's been good. Like you said, the Lakers series has been nuts.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of dick kicks.
Yeah.
A lot of dick hits.
Like, it feels for the first time in a while with the NBA, there's genuine like hatred. Like it felt like it was too much for me at least.
Because there's parity now.
Yeah, there's parity, and there's like like everybody, like it's all the banana boat boys and like everybody's friends and USA basketball and all that. It does feel like there's some actual animosity in the NBA, and I need that. Like I need the old Knicks Heat, like Van Gundy rolling around on the floor because they're having fights and all that kind of stuff. So I like the suspensions. I like the rivalries. It's as entertained by the NBA playoffs as I've been in a long time.
I hate to say that too, but the Knicks are kind of electric as well.
They are. They
like,
are.
I love watching.
Dude, they shut down 7th Avenue
like,
after.
I know.
Yeah.
Like Dave, like something about the Garden when it's buzzing. I think you need to eat your words because there is something.
That'll happen.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I was talking about like
the aesthetics of it.
Yes, it's the same exact fucking thing as the United Center.
Yeah,
there's nothing cool about the stadium.
That
Like
Sky
Fenway
Bridge
Park.
thing is cool. What's
It's
that called?
so
Skywalk?
Fenway Park is
Skybridge, yeah.
like obviously you got Wrigley. Like there's no character to it. Obviously, the history of it and what's gone down there is incredible. But like from a stadium, like whatever.
Yeah.
Is that not fair?
I don't think
Agree
it's
to-
fair.
agree to
I don't.
disagree, I guess.
Agree to disagree. Like that game 7 when like Eddie, Tom, and I Glennie, when they won that game in overtime, it was. And I don't give a fuck about the Rangers. I was excited because I bet Panarin to score the OT winner, and he did. But
I don't think any basketball or hockey stadium can be like sweet like
all right. So I've been to a game in Dallas. I went to a hockey game there. I think it's the American Airlines Center. It's not as good. And same thing with Colorado. It's just there are certain stadiums that feel different. I know what you're saying. It's just like, oh, it's just an inside arena. It's not.
I mean, I've only been there once for a UFC fight, so
Yeah.
maybe it'd be different.
Probably be different with 18,000 people all
Going nuts.
Yeah.
There's like a
That's what it
weird.
was.
No, but you're all on the same. It's UFC is like you're gonna. I bet on this guy, bet on that guy, I like this guy, I like that guy. It's like a bowl game to a
You
degree.
cheer if there's a big knockout.
Yeah.
Or something like that. This is like, holy fuck. We're watching the Knicks win a playoff game. This hasn't happened in so long, and everyone's in sheer happiness. Like,
Yeah.
Then they play tonight. If they win tonight, it'll be their first time winning a first round series. I mean, the second time winning a first round series in like 23 years. So
it's crazy. Like, what? Yeah.
7th Avenue is going to be a zoo.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that they're at Cleveland, but
Yeah.
like, tune in to the next home game. I assume they're gonna get past the Cavaliers, but it's awesome.
There's something about the lighting in there too that's just different. Like I can't explain that. I don't know, but like it does. Like the light, it looks different on TV and it feels different in person.
And
too.
it's like
darker.
Chicago, New York kinship is like stronger than ever.
crazy.
They took fucking we and Tom were talking about it. They took Rodgers off the fucking heap from the Packers, and then obviously they took Patrick Kane, and then like there was D Rose chance.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
Yeah, it's like they're
Dude, the Garden goes nuts when they could tell when Derrick Rose got the nod to start warming up, like to take off his like that. Like everyone is like looking for it now.
that's
Like the Garden was blowing up, and I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" Like there was nothing going on the court, and I realized it's because Derrick Rose started to stand up and take off his warm up jersey.
It's pretty amazing how much they've gotten around him because it sounds like he's done after this year.
Yeah, and Jalen Brunson.
I love Jalen. Yeah,
Another
he's a
Chicago
North Shore guy. Yeah, Vernon Hills.
Yeah.
Stevenson. Yeah.
That's right.
So it's pretty crazy.
Yep.
But
Good
yeah,
for the Knicks.
the play if the NBA could just figure out what to do with that regular season, that's a big problem. But the playoffs are still
Playoffs are better.
back to they're back to being good because of the parity.
Yep.
If fucking Kawhi doesn't go down, like that's a bigger series
Yep.
too. Paul George plays, so all the series are for the most part. Trae Young fucking step back to make that a series.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
I
was stunned that that was game 5, right? In Boston. Was
Yeah.
that in Boston?
Now they go to Atlanta for game 6.
Yeah. So I was stunned that they won that game. But yeah, and it's like I will always choose random hockey games over random basketball games, but I have found myself checking in more than ever on the NBA.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, then. We could leave off there. We'll be in New York, like we said. So tune into that, the NFL Draft Show.
One last question for you, Ed. Is there someone like I'm pretty sure I would be pissed at this point if they drafted Paris Johnson.
I wouldn't.
I project right now, like
I'll be supportive, and I'll be
you hope he's great.
I'll root for him to
obviously.
succeed. But if he doesn't pan out, I'll never forget it. It's one of those. I'll be like, I will never forget.
That's what I mean.
I will not forget, or I will not forgive.
I would be beyond stunned if Skoronski doesn't pan out.
Yeah, one way or another, but I think Paris Johnson will too. I don't know if I think he's a good athlete.
He just fucking incredible athlete.
Right, but he just doesn't have like Renner saying, he just doesn't have a lot of reps. He was at right guard last year, was his first year at left tackle. But
you put him at left tackle next year, and he blows a blocking assignment and gets Fields killed.
Put him at right tackle. That's what I'm saying. Like Braxton Jones, I think it's okay to assume that Braxton Jones, full off-season NFL weight training program. Full year.
I mean, he had that at Ohio State.
No. I'm talking Braxton Jones.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking Paris Johnson.
So going from Southern Utah to the NFL, I think it's safe to assume that in year 2, you will see an improved left tackle versus what we saw. So I'm really fine with whoever they get playing right tackle and kind of learn on the fly. And Fields, because he's such an athlete, he's gonna get out of trouble if there are some blown assignments.
Yeah, he doesn't get hit.
Poles is fucking. He's an offensive lineman.
Yeah,
like,
that is
if we
something
do,
I haven't taken. Yeah, he knows.
He knows. What
Forrest is up
he
3-1,
knows
boys.
what he's doing. Oh, congrats!
Thank you.
And if he,
I do not.
If he
care.
goes corner and he thinks we're gonna get fucking value later that position,
like
he found with Jones, then so be it. We're in polls, we trust mode, but if it doesn't work out, I won't forget.
Yeah, I also like. I don't think it's gonna work out, but that guy from North Dakota State, just the look of him.
What's his name again? I don't know who you're talking about.
Cody Mauch, and it's like
That's a good name.
Mauch, and he looks like a wildling. Like he's just like a fucking animal. Like he's missing teeth. Like he's got long red hair. He's something else.
Yeah, he is.
And he's supposed to be like a very good athlete. So
that's a wildling. He looks like
he's like one of the
Tormund Giantsbane.
Yeah, he's like one of the ugliest people I've ever seen, and that's what I want in offensive lineman.
Tormund Giantsbane.
He looks like Tormund Giantsbane.
He came in as a tight end. Oh, they just
I like that too.
Yeah, so he's
guys that fill, because that, I mean.
But he's probably gone by the time the Bears are picking at 51.
Do you like that? That's what he looked like his freshman year, though, Dave.
Yeah, he's still a teenager. He needs to grow up a little bit. Redheads on a football field, I like. Because they get picked on their whole life, so they take it out on the football field. Yeah,
they're always pissed off.
Yeah.
But putting on 80
off the
pounds,
football field, don't even look at me because you make me sick to my stomach.
Can we see if we can scroll and find a picture of him smiling? Because
he's
missing his front teeth. Yeah, look at that guy.
He doesn't want those front teeth either.
He don't want it.
He doesn't want them.
He was
gnawing
eating like
those
tomahawk.
Just
those
like
porterhouses are on the side.
Yeah. So how can you not get on board with that guy?
I mean, I am pretty sold on this guy without ever seeing him take a snap. He's got the measurables too. 6'6", hundo.
Yeah. All right then.
That's it.
Go Bears. Let's get someone good. If not, if we trade out, we do something else, I'm in for it. Let's do it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Tune into the challenge tomorrow as well. And we'll see you guys for the live show on Tuesday.